Hi friends, this is Vijay Varadarajan. Here, and I've come with a very traditional dish, a most popular dish. Most of you all know how a Medhu Vadai is. Medhu Vadai is the South Indian doughnut. It is fried and it is with all the spices, and it is absolutely delicious to be had as a snack or a dinner in the evening. We generally don't have breakfast in the morning in our community. The older generation never had any breakfast. They used to straight away have a brunch at exactly 9 o'clock in the morning, and then a proper brunch, and then at about 2:30 they used to have a cup of coffee, because a cup of coffee will be had at 6 or 5:30 in the morning, and the next cup of coffee, the decoction filter coffee, at 2:30 in the afternoon, and about 4:30 or 5 they used to have something like a vadai or dosa pancake, and upma, that's a crumble. All this used to be had at about 4:35, and they were done with their dinner. They were so healthy, you didn't need any intermittent fasting. You didn't have to have too many meals during the day, a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, nothing of the sort. And they used to go to bed, maybe have a glass of milk with turmeric added to it. And sometimes when they had a cough or something, they used to have crushed pepper added to it with sugar, and then a small plantain. And that's it, they used to go to bed. And they lived till about 80 and 90 with no ailments in their life. That is the way it went on in a traditional Tambram home. So here I'm going to show you the usual Medhu Vadai, which people, you would have seen on a lot of YouTubes how they make it, but I do it differently in my home. I don't add the rice that they say with the urad dal. I don't add, I add a lot of vegetables, and I make it as tasty as possible. This is the way I make in my home, and it comes very well. Okay, I'll show you exactly how this is done. This urad dal is whole urad dal, and when this is soaked, this grows in size like this. For about, you can soak it in cool water for about half an hour to 45 minutes, and it gets soaked, and you grind it to a nice paste like this. So if you don't have the wet grinder that all of us have in our homes, in our community, you can always do it in your blender. An Indian blender, or a mixie that we call, works very well. Buy an Indian blender or a mixie from the Indian grocery store, and that works best. It's much better than the normal ones that you use at home, and you can grind well. Now, since this needs made into a good paste, the motor gets heated a little bit, so you can stop it for some time, cool it, and then start, making it again, because you don't add much of water to this. This has to be a very thick, soft paste. So make sure it's a thick, soft paste. Before I soak the urad dal for about half an hour or 45 minutes, I soak the sago, about a tablespoon of it for a cup of urad dal. Okay, I soak it, and when it's wet and it becomes soft like this, and if it has a little water, I just squeeze it and then add it to this, and that gives a binding quality. So I don't have to add the rice powder or the little rice that they soak along with the black gram, but I add this. And this helps in a way that you can add the salt to it straight away, and then you can start making the Medhu Vadai, because they say every time you make the vadai you add the salt, because then it gets watery. It doesn't when you add this. This balances the texture, it makes it thicker, and it binds very well. I always add coriander leaves, curry leaves, onions, and carrots, grated carrots. I also sometimes add grated cabbage. It tastes very good. I've added all to this, and I'm going to mix it up. So hand works best for it. So this is the Medhu Vadai that I do at home, adding a lot of vegetables. And if suppose I make it for some religious function or some feast for the gods or something, I do not add the onions. Otherwise, I add the rest of the ingredients. I also add a little jeera to it, cumin seeds. That gives a nice flavor. Hing is added to this. And then it's ground to a nice fine paste, thick, nice fine paste. So let's start off. I'll tell you how exactly. I'll do different methods of frying it, so it makes it easier for you. So I'm not going to keep it on high. I'll keep it on medium high till it gets hot, and then I will bring down to medium low and keep the temperature throughout the same way. Now a stainless steel pan like this with yours, this gets hot very fast. Always stainless steel gets hot the quickest. So you've got to watch out that it doesn't get too hot. Then if it's not the right temperature, the vadai, the Medhu Vadai cannot be fried well. It will be fried on the outside and the inside will be still like the batter, and that would be bad. You can do it with your hand. Here you can wet your palm and do it, or here I'm going to show some with this betel leaf. So I'm not getting about the water because it's pretty wet and I don't want the water to drop there and then it will start sizzling the oil. So I'll just apply some water here, and I take this, dip my hands in water. I'll flatten it a little bit because it becomes quite big when it goes into the oil. Okay, so make sure the oil is, maybe the first two might be a little early, but when the oil settles down to the right temperature, then you can start dropping the rest of it. I'm making small ones because I like small bit size. I don't like really large ones. You can have more. There's water that dripped inside the oil. That's why it made that sizzling noise. I'll even show you how I can do it. You can use a leaf from the garden, any leaf. It doesn't have to be a betel leaf, but this is what my grandmother used to do. She used to get the betel leaf from the garden, and she used to make sure there's hole on both sides like a donut, and then you drop it. I'm going to show you some with just hand, so you can do that. Wet your hand a little bit, flatten it, and drop it very gently. See, it becomes a little fat if you notice. So it was pretty thin when I dropped it, and then it became a larger size, right? So I showed you two ways of doing it, either with a leaf, wet the leaf and then drop it down. See, I'm making it so small. I like it this way. There you go. So these are nice to have as small snack bits, snack bites, if it's not too large. The large is very heavy, you can't have very much. But making these small bits, you can have more of it. You can take it as soon as it's this color. This is a little too dark, but this is the perfect color. You can take it out, and it's actually done. This is done, and try it at home. And if you have any questions, of course it takes you a couple of times, to drop it down, to make the hole and do it. And there are these gadgets that make the hole and then you drop it down. Don't use them. Use your hand. Be natural. Be artistic. Do the way I taught you or my grandmother taught me. That's what I want you to know and learn. You have any questions? I'm ready to answer you in the question box below. The recipe is given below for you to follow, and like and subscribe my channel, and please spread the word around to your family and friends or whoever you might meet. And I would love to join you for much more videos. There are so many more recipes. They're all to be found in my books, and I will share with you some of them in my next forthcoming videos. Until then, bye to each one of you. This is Vijay Varadarajan signing off.